question is, why modern Filipino architecture and design? I'm Judith Torres of BluPrint magazine, and here to answer the question is Royal Pineda, President and CEO of Buji Royal Architecture and Design. So, before we answer why we have to do modern Filipino architecture, tell us what it is.
So when I talk of modern Filipino architecture and design, it is about knowing the new lifestyle of the Filipinos. It's not just about the silhouettes of the architecture.
Or using kapis.
It's not just about the kapis. It's not just about the bamboo or the nipa. It's about learning the methods of today and also learning the lifestyle of today and the future. You know, the possibility of assuming also and anticipating the usage of it for the coming future.
So it's not using particular materials or using particular shapes.
If you really look at it, it's just shapes and materials are just part of the ingredients. But the thing that really drives it is people.
Okay.
Because the people are the one who defines what they need, what is around them, what is their soul, what is their preference. So these are the things that makes all this ingredient put together, and then it becomes a dish. For me, if I always refer to Bahay Kubo as the modern, as the Filipino architecture, it will trap me to that silhouette. It will trap me to that character of the pitch roof, the silong, and all of that, without modernizing it. The modernity is a transformation. Once you start addressing all these things that Filipinos of today are doing, the way they live, the way they celebrate their holidays, the way they spend their weekends, the way they work in their homes,
The way they cook.
the food, you know, the music, and all of these things. These are all elements that will define the modern Filipino architecture of today. The modernity is actually the thing that makes it universal, so that you can make people embrace it, especially the Filipinos, and also the foreigners to embrace it. Because if you're going to invite foreigners coming here and they will see a third world system, they will not see convenience, they will not experience the easy way, then they'll say, you know, I see your point, that's Filipino architecture and design, but it doesn't work for us anymore as a modern people.
If I'm a developer and I say, oh, but I want to have Venice and I want to look like London or Little India, why should I do modern Filipino architecture and design? Because it's easier to market something, you know, imported.
Yes. It's good business.
Why?
When I was talking to a set of developers, that was the question actually. Of course, I said to them, that is business. At the end of the day, you need to make the sales, and that's very good, you know. For me, it's about understanding your roots and really understanding the world and the living of today. Bringing Venice to Manila, bringing Italy and Rome and all this Greek architecture, the Mediterranean architecture.
Yeah, France, etc.
If you try to bring them here, for me, they're theme. They're not speaking the word and the language of the location. So meaning to say, you are recreating something that is authentic from somewhere else. So again, you are deviating from the
So
the
it's
root,
fake. It's not authentic.
from the root of that idea. So my point is, why try to change the variety of the world? Wherein the variety of the world is naturally offering different characters of different places. The trick is, you have to make it modern Filipino architecture and design. So in that process of having modernity, you put the lifestyle of everybody, not just the Filipinos, but the lifestyle of everybody, humanity. That the modernity, everybody will use iPhones, cell phones and all. That becomes universal because it works as a modern approach. So if you can turn Filipino into something modern, and it embraces humanity, then it becomes universal. So I never believe that Filipino architecture is limited to only Philippines.
Okay.
The modern Filipino sensibility can work also international. The sensibility of it. They will see the difference. And in fact, that's what they felt when we presented some projects to them. They started to ask, they said, Royal, what is this design? Is this modern Balinese? Is this modern tropical? Is this modern something? I said, no, it's modern Filipino architecture and design. The point here, Judith, is that patience is very important. And the evolution of modern Filipino architecture is not overnight.
Okay.
And it will never be overnight. The point here is that every step that every Filipino architects and designers are doing in promoting what we believe as Filipino is, it will be evident later on. What's important is we create a history, a chain. Because right now, when I look at the chain is just there from the Bahay Kubo to the Bahay na Bato. And if I look at the rest of the chain, it's broken and there's nothing for the next generation to read. That in the 2050 or the 20 whatever, they read the chain and it's still Bahay Kubo and Bahay na Bato.
Right.
So what is this era? What is this era going to offer?
Okay. So you're in this era and you're an advocate of modern Filipino architecture and design.
Yes.
What are you offering?
Well, I'm offering freedom. I'm not asking all architects and designers to follow what I'm doing. I'm not asking anybody to follow the style. It's not even a style. I believe it's a philosophy. To be myself as a Filipino, to go around the world and be proud as Filipino, and to be proud as Filipino architect, creating my own architecture, that when I see a project, I don't have to read the magazines. I don't need to see the books. You give me a lot, I go to the lot, I give you a design. You talk to me as a client, I'll give you a design. Forget the world, and I'll tell you, I'll give you something authentic. I can tell any client, I can face anyone and say to them, this is yours, this is you. You're a Filipino. This is the modern world. This is your modern way. And I am telling you, you are promoting yourself. And you can tell anyone that you will never have an exact house like the other people who are living in their private homes right now. It's not off the shelf.
That's amazing. And we're going to talk about his philosophy and how philosophies relate to concepts in our next BluPrint conversation. This is Judith Torres with the wonderful Royal Pineda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.